going to see actual customer records, but with things like Google Analytics, you're going to see only what your site has.
Well, what I was talking about was like Facebook and MySpace. I mean, aren't you kind of giving away the store to a certain degree or not?
There are things like, think about Facebook advertising. Why does it work? Because if you're a golf company and you want to target men that are 65 to 45 who have certain interests, well, think about your Facebook profile. That's when you sign up and you put your date of birth and your gender and all of that. So the targeting is intact. It all goes back to our privacy settings. So as end users, we can set our privacy settings to be pretty stringent. Most web users don't realize how much power they have. But yeah, I mean, look at Google Analytics. They certainly, by giving this free technology away, do have access to it. From my experience, they have not exploited it yet, but it is something to be aware of. But the way I look at it is I would still rather have access to what people do when they get to my website, what keywords they type in, and be willing to assume that risk versus not knowing at all. But it's a great question and very important for organizations to look at, and also important to note in your privacy policies on your websites how you use people's PIDs, which is personally identifiable information. If they sign up for your e-newsletter list, are you going to sell that list? Are you going to have cookies on your website that store what people do when they get to your website? You do need to disclose that on your privacy policy page. Most people don't know that. Thank you, great question.
I just wanted to know, was that hello text, is that a free service?
Oh yes. Yeah, we love the F word, free.
Hey, what would you say is most important to a search engine spider when looking at a website?
Title tag.
Okay.
Title tag, and that's the first thing a search engine sees. Probably, next the content or frequency of content, and it's the architecture, which title tags fall under that. It's the content and links. Always the number of links back to a site. If I have a link back from, I'm trying to think of a large website. Let's say Amazon's linking back to my site and Mashable's linking back to my site. The search engine's going to go, that site's pretty cool, and it is going to help out. So it's quality links too.
That's part of the question that I wanted to ask. Is about how do you get links? I've asked people, and if they didn't create their website or their blog, or do you get somebody that's associated in the same field that you're in, or you ask and then they don't do anything. So
great question. When I look at search, I look first at architecture, second at content, third at links. And I start with internal links within my own website. 1999, we could be like, I like your site. Well, you put a link to it on it. And we had these link pages, and it just doesn't have that emphasis anymore. And actually, we just don't have time to do links back and forth. However, what I find the best approach to getting links, well, one, linking back and forth within my own site or a client site, but secondly, by giving it away. Dear super blogger, I loved your last blog post. I just blogged about you on my blog. I think you're rad. Cyberlove. Would you mind linking to me in your blog roll? And usually they're like, you love me? Oh, I love me, so I love you because you love me. And that's usually, if you're willing to put something out there first, then you're more likely to start that relationship. And also think about it from a relationship. We're busy. So they're like, what's in it for me? This lady just endorsed me. I'm going to pay attention to her now. So that I found is the best approach. Best approach. That actually, Anne Levine, the law school expert I suggested, her content is remarkable. And she showed me her blog after she had done these great posts and said, now what? I said, now it's time for Cyberlove. What's that? Well, you need to start networking with the blogs that you're reading on and start reaching out to them. And when she did, she started building relationships. And also you can comment on other people's blogs. I loved your post, or I totally disagree with your post, or you just left something out. Here's me and here's my website. That's another way too. But they have to be not commercial. Anytime it's commercial, it's going to be deemed as a slimy link.
I think it was in April, Facebook came out with an offering you a URL.
Yes.
And I got a great one, but I don't know what to do with it.
Sell it. No, I'm just kidding. One of my girlfriends is here, Anna Maria, and she uses the phrase domainiac. It's, you want to have these great domains. So having a smart URL like that, if it's something that is applicable to your business and it's worth building a community around, great. But great ideas are only great if they're executed brilliantly. So the URL is one teeny weeny tiny whiny piece of the puzzle. If there's something that you can do to serve and support that community and offer something of value on Facebook that people are going to want, then that's what you're going to want to do. Like case in point, we have a web marketing group therapy. We have a free group on Facebook, and people ask a lot of questions. We also have a large niche of women of the web who are professionals, and we're going to try a whole separate group on LinkedIn because that's separate value, separate audience. So it's all about making sure that you're offering something for people to want to stay and play. But when you come up with that URL is going to be really good. I see another hand up here.
Dumbest question of the night. My 17-year-old got me a business Facebook page, and I was reading about that you could get URLs for your Facebook pages, and I didn't know if that meant my business fan book page, because whenever I highlight it and email it to someone to check out my fan page because they're not on Facebook, it doesn't end up on their email as a live link, and they have to copy and paste into their browser, and I have to like type these long explanatory things, and most of the time they're just like, forget it. And I'm probably just a complete geek idiot.
No, I think sometimes now a page, like a fan page or a page, is public on the web. And you still have to log in to access the whole page. Now, if you have a group, that's still going to require a login to get the group. But if it's a page, then a search engine can pick it up. That may be the email program you use that may be doing something to the URL, and if any of my wild web women have any other tips on that, but typically you should be able to easily send that link, and that person clicks the link. And some.
The link is like 10 years long. It's War and Peace. So my question was, can I get a URL for my fan page that's shorter?
I believe so, and am I hearing all right? Where are my colleagues, my wild web women? Thank you. Yeah, so you have to earn it. You have to step up to that. But it's motivation. We have a client who, she has a blog, and she wanted to add the blog to her website. I said, you can't do it until you have 25 posts. She's like, but I said, and she earned it. So now she's up there.
Like a URL shortener, like TinyURL or something like that. So
TinyURL is a great one.
It makes it look nicer when you send it to your colleagues.
This is Amelia Doer, one of my business partners. TinyURL.com. So instead of having that. They have that huge one. You can make it tiny, and you can put in the tiny URL the words that you want it to end into. So a lot of times, like for your email signature file, if it's like for you're a jeweler, so you might have tinyurl.com / whatever words. It's just nicer than that big URL. And there is, just as a joke, isn't it called hugeurl.com? So if you have a small URL, you can make a huge one too. So if you we're she geeks. We play with that stuff. So yeah.
Thanks for all the information. This has been really great. I'm looking at tomorrow, starting out, going, I need to build a new web page that can take me to some of these places that you're talking about. And as a busy entrepreneur and somebody that doesn't necessarily have the expertise, I'm wondering if there are people and persons that can help you coordinate all of this in a sense, like I need somebody that guides me like on a monthly basis, not hours and hours maybe, but okay, this is really, we build the website,
right.
Then we do the next phase and next phase. And maybe that's what you all do, or?
I do know of a good firm, and you can find them online, called Web Marketing Therapy, yes. But here's the thing, but also we like to educate people, because there's only so much of us, and the more we can empower you or one of your interns or colleagues. But here's the deal. You have an art to web marketing, and you have a science to web marketing. What is typically missing is the strategy. And you need the strategy to marry the art and the science of the web so it sells. You need a website that is architected. Your home page of your site is your North Star. It needs to guide that person to where you want them to go. You want to get them to your site, sure, but also you want to get them through your site. Healthy marketing is a holistic approach, and someone that can facilitate someone who can facilitate the pieces of the puzzle so that that page functions well, down to the architecture of the page, what pages are needed, what people are going to do when they get to that page. There are some amazing web design firms out there that will facilitate that whole process. And then sometimes there's folks that are like, what pages of your website do you want? I'm gonna build them. So sometimes you do it yourself and you learn how to do it through education, and you can save a lot of time and money that way, or there's different workshops you can take, or yes, there are internet marketing firms that do that.